What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium, where I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is the game VIII, Lacrimosa of Dana, and the song is called A to Z. This is requested by Runace on Patreon. I actually have a bunch of requests for this game particularly, and actually the next song I'm filming is also from VIII. So I'm from never hearing VIII to hearing two back to back. And yeah, small world. So I have a little bit of experience with East. It seems to be quite a favorite, and it's pretty good for me. I've heard of some pretty dang good songs. This is A to Z. It's kind of a short one, so I love this artwork, by the way. This is from the Falcon Music channel, and the composer is Mitsuo Singa. All right, let's go. Oh. I think the first time I've heard piano in East. Lead violin. Those drums are tight. Damn. So melodic. Oh, in the background is just... Dude, the drummer. Oh, come on. Falcom is so cool, but their songs are so short. Does it have the drummer on here? No. It says the violinist though, Mariko Ito. Okay, so from what I've noticed in East, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like violin might be one of the more prominent staples of the soundtrack, at least from what I've heard. Guitars as well. It's kind of has this, it reminds me of like Etrian Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles. There's other stuff too where it like heavily uses the violin as well. But with East, it seems like the violin is much more lead and much more like higher on the, I guess it's called the fretboard. I'm not sure what it's called on the violin, but like higher on the neck. And man, that went by so quick. I was honestly like, sounds kind of messed up, but I was like staring at the art the whole time because it's like so beautiful. Like there's so many shades of blue and purple, and I'm guessing this is cover up for the actual game because it shows so many little things surrounding it. This is like really well done. Or if this is just the OST album, I don't know. The contrast of the blue and the red and the like ocean and the letters. What is East, man? East is such a like, I feel like, I mean, think about it from an outsider's perspective. The first time I heard East was a while ago, probably like a year ago, and it was like, I think it was kind of metal, I think. But I remember it always had this odd aura around it. Like, first of all, the name, right? We can't ignore that. What the hell is East? YS, you know? And there's so many of them. So it's like, are they canon? Or are they kind of like Final Fantasy where you can just kind of jump in whenever you want? Are there many? Are they still going? Etc. Etc. But either way, for a game to have at least 8 games, well, at least I know of 9. I know it goes up to 9 at least. Then they're doing something right, you know? So I feel like I never heard of this game until I started reacting to video game music. So like, it's known by gamers, I guess, or maybe I don't know if hardcore gamers is the right word, but like, you know, people that are adamant with video games. And I thought I was, but apparently not. And I don't know, I just never heard of VIII, and it's kind of slowly been getting my attention more and more because of the diversity. But also the last song I heard left a huge impression on me, which I'm trying to remember what it's called right now, and I'm drawing a blank. It was the final boss song, Termination. Termination. I've heard like 3 or 4 versions of that song, and man, it's good stuff. And everything else I've heard from VIII is pretty good. So I'm very, like I say this a lot, but I'm very curious about like the history of VIII and how you guys got into it. When did you discover it? Is it still going, etc. I like to know all these little fun facts because there's a lot of requests for VIII in my backlog, and a lot of them are from this one right here. So let me ask you, I'm asking you, particularly the viewer, not what's the word here? Not the like general consensus, but like, and not an opinion either. I want to know, like, is this considered like the Holy Grail? You know what I mean? But like the most famous one, the FF7, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is VIII 8. Not your favorite, but is this the most known? Because typically when I get so many requests for one game, it's kind of like a pattern I've noticed. So, for example, I don't think I have anything from like 4 or 5 or 6. I'm sure I do, but for this one, I think the most. And I think the biggest request I have for VIII in general is the next song I'm doing. So, I'm just curious if it's just considered like, you know, one of the best or the best, or is it so, you know, opinionated that everyone just has completely different ones. You know how it goes. Anyways, you know, so I said what I had to say about the violin, about it. It's kind of like this main thing. I like the piano at the beginning. Kind of wish it stayed around a little longer. You know, honestly, the thing that stuck out to me the most in this song were the drums. The drums were so tight. It sounded like a real person. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but it sounded like a real performer. And fun fact, the first instrument I ever wanted to play were the drums. You know, I'm pretty rhythmic, and I'm not good at it, but I always feel like I would have been pretty damn good at drums if I practiced it. And then that didn't work, and then I wanted to get a piano, and then that didn't work. So I ended up with the guitar. So that's how that whole thing. So I've always really liked rhythms and, you know, bass and just that whole like the whole moving section of the song. And this was like some really impressive drumming. The double bass, the kicks were nice and crisp. You can hear everything. Everything was really tight. And I don't know. I was trying to find the drummer here, but I have no idea. And let me know what Lacrimosa of Dana is. I'm saying it like in my Spanish accent, but I don't know if it's in Spanish at all. And yeah, it's also Dana's capitalized. I have so many questions when it comes to VIII, but all I can say is that the music is definitely great. That's pretty much it. There's really nothing much more to go off of. And the color blue seems to be a huge thing in this one, at least. So let me know more, and much more VIII coming, especially right after this video. And shout out Falcom for making, honestly, Falcom is pretty 100% success rate as far as all their games on my channel. So thank you, Runace. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to everyone that you see on the screen for supporting. And I will see you dudes and dudettes in the next video. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. Take it easy.